Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This one's going to be slightly different. I'm trying out a couple new things on the channel, and what we're going to talk about today is what am I doing with all of my project cars. I've had a number of you guys talk to me on Instagram and on YouTube asking me what am I doing with the R32 GT-R, what am I doing with the MR2, and well, let's start from the beginning. So let's tackle the biggest project that's going on right now, and that is the silver RX-7 FT3S. I'm pretty sure everybody here has been following the build. It started about 3.5 to 4 months ago, where I got completely fed up with the twin turbo setup. The sequential setup wasn't working so well, and I decided that I was going to figure it out and try and investigate what the issue was. I knew it was something to do with the solenoid or perhaps a vacuum line, something, well, obviously something not working. And I started digging around and I decided I was going to install a downpipe at the same time for the twin turbo setup. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys have been watching the single turbo build. And if you haven't been watching, I'm going to tell you very quickly. So about 3.5, 4 months ago, I decided that it was a good idea to rip out the entire twin turbo setup. The reason why I did that is my sequential setup wasn't working. And well, I figured let me just modernize it and get a single turbo in there, get it tuned and blah blah blah, get it running. Which is the way to go. I mean, pretty much everybody in the FD scene does this. And well, I started doing that, and time is just an issue for me, which, yeah, it's always been an issue. But I've had a few mates come around, and my mates have been helping me. If you checked out the last 3 videos, they've been really astounding. You know that saying, many hands make light work? Well, that is so true. So we're at the stage where the teardown was completely done. The car's ready to be degreased and cleaned up. And I did a lot of that by myself over the last 2 weeks or so. So it's relatively clean, but I want to get everything bolted on so I can high pressure hose it. I can't do it right now because there's openings everywhere. Yeah, anyway, so cleanup needs to carry on. I've got the oil lines for the turbo that's currently on the car right now. I did fit it, I did a test fit again of the turbo and the oil lines. I've asked a machining company to make me blanking plates for things like the ISC, the idle speed controller, and a number of other solenoids that I no longer need on the FD. So in the next few days I've got the guys coming around, and we are basically just going to tackle a long list that I have planned. One of them is obviously fit all the blanking plates, get the UIM back on the car, get the oil lines tightened up, which means get the turbo fully bolted on, so, well, permanently until it blows up, onto the manifold. Manifold must be tightened and, well, on the block. Then we need to figure out how to push the wideband cables and the boost controller cables through the firewall, which I've actually figured out already, but I'll show you guys in the video. So there's a hole on the left-hand side, driver's side, on the right-hand drive car that we're going to push it through. It's going to come out underneath the fender. We're going to pull the fender lining out, push it through into the cabin, and it's going to pop up somewhere behind the fuse box. But obviously you guys will see that all in a new video. Then the stock exhaust is kind of just like hanging at the back. It's just got rubber mounts on. That needs to come out. I've got a pineapple racing pulley which has arrived. Funny enough, the pineapple racing pulley was here all along at the time that I filmed the previous video when we were fitting parts, and I was complaining that it hadn't arrived yet. It was sitting in my post box. So we're going to be fitting that. I've got some gold foil, some reflective foil. You guys are probably wondering, why the hell are you putting gold foil in the car? Well, I think it'll look pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know Aaron Parker, but he's got a crazy FD. I'm sure you saw it on Hoonigan channel. Well, he's got gold, and I know he's got purple too. Just let me be with the gold. I think it's going to look cool. I'm going to do it down the strut side, so the turbo is going to be sitting here, and then there's like my strut tower over there. I don't know, it's like going to reflect heat and whatnot, so it's going there. It's going to look cool. Also the LIM, if there's enough, I'm going to throw it onto the LIM. Stock fuel system for now, and then I'm going to go and get AEM fuel pump and a bunch of other AEM bits, but I'm still going to run the stock injectors for now, the 850s and the 550cc's, and obviously we're going to fit everything back as soon as we get working on the car, which is going to be in the next few days like I mentioned. Intercooler needs to be installed, but it's not here yet, and then there's pipe work for the intercooler that needs to be, well, put on, and I think that one's going to be probably the simplest. There's going to be little to no fabrication because I'm just going to use some S-bends and straights and silicon couplers. Once that's done, we're going to start up the car. I don't think we're going to start up the car just yet though. I have been doing a little bit of research, and someone down in Cape Town, you guys might know him on Instagram. If you don't know him, go and follow him. His channel is 1224 on, I think you call it channel on Instagram, his page. Go follow him. He's a model builder and a very experienced model builder. And we're actually going to be collaborating sometime in the near future, which is very exciting, but I'm not going to tell you guys anymore. Go follow him. He's got 10 times more subscribers than I've got. Anyway, 1224 has mentioned that since my car has been sitting for a while, I should probably pour a little bit of oil down the exhaust chambers of the LRM and then crank the car manually from the front. So now I'm going to do that a couple times for the next week, and well, hopefully start the car in the next 2 to 3 weeks perhaps. Once the car started, then I need to get it down to, or get it up my driveway first, then put it onto a flatbed. Take it to an exhaust shop, get them to make up a downpipe and mid-pipe, and then link it to the back box that I've got, an HKS back box for it. Once that's done, I need to tune the car. So I do have a copy-paste base map from another single turbo. You guys all know Jason. Jason's the dude in Sweden that's been helping me remotely with research and, well, pretty much everything. He's been assisting me on Skype with his car, and I've been asking him questions and even showing me on his car, which is really, really cool. He's given me his base map. It is a very safe map. It's not leaned out in a lot of places, but obviously I'm not going to floor the car, I'm not going to abuse it. It's just to get it started, get it running, have it drivable, and then get it to a tuner. Right, let's move on. Whew, okay, that was the longest one. So let's talk about the MR2 SW20. Okay, that car I haven't driven in a long while. It's been sitting for about 4 to 5 weeks plus minus. But you know, it's a Toyota. Just get into the car, turn the key, and it runs. And it never complains. That's one thing about these damn cars. And you know, it is the slowest car I own, but it's probably one of the most fun. It's got snap oversteer, but not so much because I got the NA version of the 3S GE. So it's not the snap oversteer thing that makes the car fun. It's just fun because the engine's sitting right behind you, it's noisy, and it's cool, it's different. There's a T-top as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those cars that you cannot explain how fun or how cool it is until you get into the driver's seat or maybe even the passenger seat. Now, why did I buy the car? I don't know. It was cheap. Saw the car online October 2017. Made the guy an offer. He's actually subscribed on the channel. Hey, if you're watching, I love all JDM cars, and this was on my list, but very far down my list. And it was just one of those things I didn't want to let it go because I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to import one or if I'd ever get another one. And anyway, I think I made a really good buy. However, the question is, what am I doing with it right now? Right now it's kind of just parked off, and yeah, waiting for a respray. It needs to get resprayed, and then I've been getting small little bits, like I got some new interior trim and little, I don't know, those plastic screw things, and just neatening up the car, getting it nice and sound, and making sure it's going to be kept for a very long time in my household. So that's probably the most boring one out of all the projects. Actually, no, maybe not. Let's move on to the black RX-7 FD3S. So black RX-7 FD3S, you guys may remember this one. I bought it in 2016. It was a little bit rough around the edges. I picked it up for next to nothing, and well, I'm putting it back to stock. I don't think I ever told you guys in the vlog, but I moved the entire stock intake system from the silver FD when I started stripping for the single turbo, moved it across to the black FD, and I put the stock dump valve, I put everything back to stock on the black one. The only thing that is not stock is the exhaust system. Now, I was waiting to start the single turbo build, and I've been hella busy, but I'm going to move the stock exhaust from the silver twin turbo. Oh geez, I'm going to move the stock exhaust from the silver FD3S across the black FD3S, and then that will make the car 100% standard. It's even got the stock wheels of it. Someone did, however, steal the center caps on 2 of the wheels. And it's the Ifany center caps, so I don't know why. Probably someone with an RX-7. Anyway, they're gone. I need to get another 2. And yeah, the car will be back to stock, which is cool. And then I pretty much saved the best for last year. Let's talk about the Nissan Skyline R32 GT-R. I recently had an issue with that car where my intercooler pipe popped right off, and I had to drive it back home. There was no choice. I couldn't stop where I was. I kind of turned around and I just blah 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 made it home, and black smoke everywhere. And yeah, fortunately there was no damage, none that I've noticed yet. I do have an engine check light on at the moment, and I need to do the whole pin out thing so it can tell me, but the car is running and it's able to rev highly and it seems happy. I'm guessing it's an O2 sensor, and since I've got an Apexi Power FC, I don't need the O2 sensor. I do need to buy a wideband for this car at some stage. I did buy a wideband for it, and now I'm using on the FD for the single turbo setup. But anyway, what are the plans for the R32 GT-R? Get it running now, fix the intercooler pipe that popped off, because I don't want that to pop off again. And I do want to go single turbo on it. I mean, there's guys like It's Cardo and Godzilla, and there's so many YouTubers out there that have gone the single turbo route. And one, the car sounds glorious when it's got one big blow on it. 2, you get a lot more power, and 3, you simplify the whole thing, much like my RX-7 FT3S when I'm doing with the single turbo. Now the GT-R, however, I'm not going to skimp and save like I have on the FD. So the FD, I'm going to be using stock injectors, and it's been a very, very budget build. Now the GT-R has always been my favorite from the beginning. It was my must-have JDM car from years ago. I mean, everybody says the same damn thing, and I'm going to be cliche about this. Gran Turismo. What car is the best? R32 GT-R. Debatable, but R32 GT-R. And I always wanted one, and I never had access to one at all because I live in South Africa, and our import laws are super strict. So the closest thing I had to one of them was a Subaru, a couple of Subarus, and they're just never good enough. And I mean, the GT-R is a car that I've owned the longest out of all cars I have owned. I think plus minus, I've owned roughly 30 cars. And the GT-R is the one that I've kept the longest. I went through Subarus like crazy. I had 9 Subarus, not all at the same time. I had maximum, I think, or 2, or I might have had 3 at one time. I think I did have 3. Let's say maximum of 3 Subarus at one time, but 1, they were money pits. 2, they kept breaking. 3, Subarus aren't that bad. I'd buy another one, but I've got other things in mind. The GT-R, this is actually my first problem with the GT-R. I've never had a major issue with it at all. I mean, self-inflicted issues, yes, like breaking the boost controller and a couple other things, but those were easily fixed. This was the first time it actually gave up on me where the intercooler pipe popped off, and it wasn't even a major thing. So R32 GT-R is a cool car. And I'm going to make a really good build out of it when I have the time and the money. And like I've mentioned before, I'm doing a lot of work on the house, a lot of renovation, a lot of building, a lot of land expansion so I can fit more cars. It's an ongoing thing, and I'm also on the quest for buying more JDM cars. This year alone, I tried to buy 4 cars, but yeah, we'll do this in another video. Alright guys and girls, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it. If you have any questions, any queries, want to know more about my build, want to give me more advice on my builds, drop a comment in the comment section. Otherwise, catch me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next video. Peace.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.